Something wide given. So they're almost there. What a fairy tale this is turning out to be.
A fairy tale. Nothing more, nothing less. That moment was a Disney tale come true, but a darker, much more sordid type of Disney fairy tale. It began from a no ball, went through bombings, boycotts, and near bankruptcy before ending up with the pinnacle of cricket in their hands. This is the story of when Sri Lanka won the World Cup. Now, as far as stories go, I have a really hard time deciding where exactly should I start this from. Do I start from 1983, when a small island nation began tearing itself apart in a conflict between the Tamils and the Sinhalese that would go on for the next 26 years? Or do I begin in 1975, when Sri Lanka played its first ODI match? Or on 5th January 1995, when a young Tamil prodigy was no-balled out of a game, and all his Sinhalese teammate could do was just stand and watch. Yep, let's start from there.
Sri Lanka up to then were considered a really nice group of people. They were gentlemen.
Even if you have somebody coming close to you and sledging, there were times that we used to smile.
In a team that the captain Ranatunga had handpicked personally in a 2 consecutive series tour to Australia. They had been sledged, heckled, cussed and accused of everything, from ball tampering all the way up to destroying the spirit of the game.
No, there were a couple of incidents, but I can't put it out till we get the green light from the match referee.
But then, their new spinning prodigy, Muralidharan, was unilaterally no-balled due to his action by Australian umpires. The second time it happened, Murali actually had to be taken out of the team. Their youngest teammate was being bullied and shamed in front of the world. That was a bridge too far. Shockingly, the Australians had managed to do something that 14 years of war couldn't. They had united the Sri Lankans. There were no galvanizing speeches given nor any rousing words spoken. But everybody there just felt their hearts burn. They were burning and it showed. It began from a small gesture though, of Ranatunga inviting Murali to his house for dinner. And soon enough, Murali was being flooded with requests from his entire team. Now Ranatunga's house, which had become a dining spot, wasn't empty by any means. It was always filled with fellow teammates, including Jayasuriya and Vikram Singhe, because they just couldn't afford to live anywhere else. The Sri Lankan board at the time had little more than 3 lakh rupees at its disposal. So forget about giving regular salaries. Each and every time the team had to tour somewhere, they had to go searching for sponsors. This team didn't have anything that a modern cricketer should have, but they had each other. They couldn't afford an extra shirt or an extra pair of shoes, but they could happily share their food at night. In those shared jerseys, during nights gone sleepless due to Jayasuriya's snoring, a team was being created, which was then shaped by the new Australian coach, Dave Watmore. Arriving in June of 1995, him, along with the team manager Duleep Mendes, introduced a series of change. First was a complete overhaul in the physical training regime. The original lazy attitude was replaced by a strict do till you drop exercise regime, which was then followed by change in mentalities. And here again, that no ball in Australia is put into focus. At the time, Dave Watmore had said to his team, if we can go through this crap, we can go through anything. And Ranatunga,
we had to take a step outside our normal routine and say, go out there, give your best shot, hit hard, don't allow them to control you. And that's attitude we adopt in the tournament prior to the World Cup as well.
In that tournament, despite losing Murali, Despite an injured Ranatunga and Mahanama, despite no neutral umpires and foreign conditions, they had ousted West Indies and gone toe-to-toe with Australians. They were good enough. Their shards of talent had entered Australia's furnace and had come out as a single razor-sharp tip. So no matter what anyone said, they were good enough and they could deal with anything. So, when Sri Lanka's capital Colombo was rocked by a bomb blast, and Australia and West Indies refused to play in Sri Lanka, with their entire nation being disgusted by such affront, the team, headed by Ranatunga, responded with,
the moment that Australia said that they weren't travelling to Sri Lanka, Arjuna said, we want Australia in the final. Now, there weren't too many teams in world cricket going around saying, bring on Australia. But Arjuna had the guts to say that.
It wasn't just empty bravado though. Ranatunga had a plan. It started with a throwaway statement by their manager Mendes in the Australian tour. Why don't we open with Kalu? And soon, it resulted in full-blown planning sessions before each and every match. Team meetings would stretch for 2 hours, where each and every foreseeable situation and its solution was worked out.
That area of looking at opposition, analysing and coming up with plans and that sort of thing. So I thought we were very well prepared to do that, something that the opposition didn't do.
Homework was done through video replays and detailed sheets on field positions for specific players were being designed. Dave Watmore, who loves to keep notes, has documented each and every one of those plans. He can still tell you what plan was to be used against what player in what match. And for the Sri Lankan players themselves, specific and to the point rules were designed. Ranatunga used to personally go and talk to each and every player. Each player was explained his role, sometimes as small as making the new ball old. By the time the World Cup rolled around, they had a full battle plan ready. Previously batting on number 8, Jayasurya was paired with previously batting on number 7 position Kalu Vitharna with just one instruction: attack, attack, attack. Nothing else matters. Give your wicket if you have to, just keep on attacking.
Scared, like if he opens and fails, whether he will be out of the national side. I said, don't worry, I'll protect you. I'm giving you that guarantee. You just go and open.
This tactic, which was partly employed by New Zealand in the last World Cup, had reached its true pinnacle in this opening pair's hand.
It was never heard of or done before. When it did, it was a wonderful feeling to see chaos in the opposition, not knowing where to put the fielders. There were certain matches that opposition teams in the first 10 overs didn't have a third man or a fine leg.
Down the order, Mahanama was to just turn the strike over to the pinch hitters, failing which he and Tilak Ratne had to rebuild. Guru Sena was told to play through the entire inning. Even bowlers were given specific order: Vikram Singhe, Vas, Murli, Dharmasena, Jayasurya and De Silva in that order, like clockwork. A strong batting lineup coupled with bowlers well suited for the subcontinental conditions. But there was one person who was never given any memo. That's Arvinda De Silva. Legendary for his nonchalance towards any batting preparations. Famous for getting up and going to batting half asleep.
There's a lot of talk about Arvinda not, living up to his potential, so to speak. Everyone knew he was a great player, but he hadn't really produced on the big stage or hadn't produced as much in international cricket as people felt I think he should.
During that World Cup, he could be found roaming the hallways late at night, shadow batting. And if anybody stopped him and asked what ball was he facing, he would quickly reply, Akram is bowling bouncers right now. From this De Silva, Ranatunga had just one request: you get us 100, you win us the World Cup. In a team that he had built over the years, a plan that he had put together over many months, De Silva was the only free hand. His was the only talent Ranatunga did not limit by the bounds of his own imagination. He was free to do as he willed, and he did. Standing in a World Cup final, De Silva had delivered that century against a country that had heckled them just a few months before, against a team that had destroyed them just a few months before, and against a board that had humiliated his junior just a few months before. And as he hit it, he could see his captain standing on the other end. And then he looked on himself as his captain hit the final runs of the World Cup. A team booed and broken, a country bombed and boycotted, and a cricket board near on the verge of bankruptcy had lifted the World Cup. And with the halos and echoes of a fairy tale ending in their ears, I still remember Telford Wise writing, "This marks the spot on the map of cricketing's journey through history where East looked West in the eye and did not blink. Instead, East just winked and said, 'Try to keep up now. Try to keep up.'" Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, kindly like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.